Well, good morning. It's the 23rd of June, the year of our Lord 2020. Um, just thought I'd just have a little chat about the shutdown again. Now, I I said this before that this is exactly what's going to happen. They're going to get you comfortable. They're going to expand that elastic, and then they're going to snip it and bring you back in. I mean, Queensland is now talking, well, they haven't come out yet, but now they're rethinking about opening it on the 10th of July, which is, I just don't get it, you know. They are now shutting down the country, the states, for the common flu. Okay. People aren't dying to the rate that they're saying. They're not. People are still dying of something. And now all the governments around the world then have started coming out, even admitting that some of the testings are irregular, non-accurate, that they slightly bend the truth. But yet in Australia, we're still, going to shut down Victoria. Okay, shut it down. Leave Queensland shut down. We'll see. Eventually, when the food runs out, the money runs out, people will come and burn your places down. That's the government's places, not their own. Because it's just come to it's just now heading exactly to that cliff. So every time there's an outbreak, there's going to be a shutdown or more regulation put into place. It's all about control. The flu has been around for centuries. They have still not got a vaccine because they can't, because it mutates. There'll be no vaccine, even if the vaccine that they say they already have and they're trialing is not going to save you. The only thing that's going to save you is your own immunity and believe in God, basically, that you're here on this earth for a reason and trying to fulfill your life and enjoy the experience. It's not about, living in fear and being stuck at home and thinking, I have to go on a computer and filling out forms and answering questions left, right and centre. Queensland is losing so much money. Now, Queensland is basically a service industry. Tourism is number one. Football ain't going to save you, darlings. No. Cricket won't be. None of the sports will save Queensland. None. Why? Because it's just distraction and entertainment. It's not things that protect you from living a long life. You have no food or good water, you'll be dead within a month or two. Not everybody, but people will start virtually dying. And you'll get your immune system be shot, you have no way of defending yourself. As I said, the smallest bacteria can just knock you over. So, I don't know. You're obviously being run by a dictatorial little Nazi. Because you are living in a Nazi country now in Queensland. It's not beautiful, perfect one day, or beautiful one day, perfect the next. No. No travel, I looked even at the flying. It's still expensive. Yet they're running out of money and the airport's all empty. And who knows what they're going to do if an outbreak. You fly from Brisbane to, say, Townsville or Cairns, and they're going to put you in quarantine for 2 weeks. And you go, hang on, I only got 2 weeks holiday. Sorry. Should have known better. That's where we're heading. And there's many people talk about this. It's worldwide. It's not just in Australia. But you can't shut down your borders and then scream, we're running out of money or our economy is not doing well. You're causing it. The government is they're committing treason against you. They have their hand around your neck and they're squeezing it. And you're not even fighting, even though you could. That's basically what they're doing. You know, and then when people want to demonstrate, everybody, all these people come out and go, oh, they shouldn't have done that because, you know, the COVID and all that. And I go, you go to Bunnings and you go to Coles and Woolies and Aldi and IGA and who knows where else to buy all your stuff. Don't see anyone. Okay, anybody online, show me a video that you see someone collapsing in the middle of the street and dying right in front of you. Right now. Go on. Can't even see it worldwide. The only one that I ever saw was the thing in China. And we don't even know if that was real. Because the guy put out his hands before he hit the ground. Supposedly he died there and there. You got to stop believing all this garbage that the government's pumping out. They're shutting down your country, my country, on a whim of a little cold. That's killing 0.03% of the population. Even if that is accurate. As I said, divide 101 divide by 25.5 million. It'll give you a percentage, okay? Times about 100 and that's the percentage of the death rate. 99.9, whatever it works out to be, survive. Yes, you get sick just like every year. When the wind blows, when the weather drops, the temperature drops down, everybody gets sick at some point. You can go and have a look at the statistics, especially people that work in offices. There's constantly people calling in sick. Nothing unusual. So imagine if we're, you know, how are you going to survive? The country's already bleeding. Not from one cut, for 1 million cuts. It's like Max Egan said, $385 million per death. That's what it cost us, this whole shutdown in Australia. Okay? And we've just borrowed, most probably, borrowed the printed money, you know, the World Bank, whoever hands out the money, almost another, you know, close to $1 trillion. I think it's half a trillion, 500 billion. So that's where you're at. And it will get even worse. They're going to restrict you. Like the guide, when I listened to in Victoria, he's demented. Oh, people gathering, they were breaking the rules because the family were getting together. You know, family unit is the only thing that's made humanity survive. As I said to you, if you were alone in the world, you're easy prey. There's no way you can't protect yourself. You can't shelter forever. You can't even hunt on your own. You know, it's not the way it works. Society needs to live in families. This is why we have children, and this is why we're trying to be close to our parents and our great-grandparents or whatever. Family unity is the strength of a country. And this guy in Victoria, the Premier, Andrews, is a wimp. You know, you just go, oh, we've got to shut them down because, you know, these are all the clusters. You know, they call it clusters now. It's, you know what it is? It's called a clusterfuck. Okay? If you ever watched that movie with Clint Eastwood. It's just crazy. Crazy. I can't believe that people are just buying it. And, you know, I mean, we've got Kelly living there. She just can't believe it. She cannot believe it. She thought she was almost home and free to go and live her life again, and now they're putting this shit together again. And it's nothing. They're not dying. They're just having a little cough or a bit of fever. Whoop-de-doo. It's your body saying, I'm sick, there's something invading me, I got to do my job. Your body knows. If you watch what Pauline put on Facebook about Dr. Berg, he'll explain to you how all this works in very layman terms, so you don't have to have a degree or have an IQ of 250. You know, he'll explain all the different pieces of your body that knows what to do and how to do it. You know, like the Terminator cells. The ones that went in and they go and get the tumor and punch in a hole in the cell and then open it up and put a poison in it, and then that cell commits suicide. And then, you know what it does? Then your body sort of gets rid of it. But there's a little chemical reaction, so your body might be a little bit inflamed or have a slightly, you know, because it needs to do all this work. But it fixes you. We are the most unique bioorganism, that we have defense system that are already trained, already know what to do from birth. And it knows how to keep us alive. Don't need government to tell me. They know nothing, okay? They're trying to destroy a family unit because they want to separate us so they can then control us. That's the whole thing. Bring us to our knees. Everybody that goes on their knees, you're dickheads. Do you know what that means? You're subservient. You're not kneeling in front of God. The Black Lives Matters is a communist plight that they brought in the 50s into America. Because America was always there for the taking, to be taken over. That's loud. But, you know, people just don't see it that way. They think that, you know, it just came about, you know, a couple of years ago. Oh, no. It is all pre-planned, and if people don't understand that, go and look up some videos and watch what people talk about. It's a psyop, a psychological operation against humanity. This is how you break down humanity or a civilization or you know, a nation without firing a bullet. Okay? You get into their heads and you make them believe and seeing all, and the more they talk about distancing, you think, oh, that's the norm. Oh, yeah, I can't be too close to people. Yeah, I walk towards people and they're all backing off. It's like I'm a leper. Maybe I should be a leper, and then I could at least justify that. It's just crazy, but, you know, and it basically screws with your head. And if you aren't aware of it, it takes you over. That's what brainwashing does. It's a way to make you feel a certain way without you knowing that they're doing it to you. And they do it slowly. They don't do it. That's why it's taken a long time and generational. And it's been implemented through the schooling system and the whole thing, from birth basically all the way to your grave. They don't want you to be free. All this slavery and all that, well, there's still slavery going on to this day. There is 800,000 children go missing in America every year. And there is another 1.3 million adults go missing. And out of that, the only finding was probably 10% in the last 5 years or 10 years. So they don't know where they all are. You know, all these girls that go missing, you don't even hear about it when they used to go to Europe and backpacking and all that, and girls go missing just because they're not maybe from the West. So you don't hear about it because they're from other minority countries. But they all get kidnapped and they get put in slaveries through the Middle East and Africa and in this, you know, prostitution trade or whatever trade. I mean, just watch the thing on what's his name, Jeffrey Epstein. A documentary on Netflix. It just gives you a picture, and that's even toned down. The shit that went on. They didn't even go into all the other rituals they were doing and how they were filming all these people doing all these things or getting things done by very young girls. And they didn't even talk about the boys because they're in there as well. Somewhere. These are all people recruiting. So they use good-looking women to recruit other good-looking young girls and say, do you want to make a couple of bucks, a couple $100? And then they recruit all these people. And then what they use them as tools to compromise politicians, business people, people of influence, put them on video and say, right, you belong to us now. Your ass is ours. You either do what we say you should do, or should do, or we'll expose you and destroy your whole life and your whole family and you lose everything. Just like that. From one weak moment where maybe you've been drinking and, thought, oh, I'll go to this party because I got invited and I'll hang around, and next you know you got all these women coming out, but they're not women, they're young girls, and you get all excited, and before you know it, you're compromised. They do it to women as well. It's not just men. It's just because there's more men in sort of power position in the corporate world and politics and all that than women. But women get compromised just as well. They're more into witchcraft. That's right. And spirit cooking, drinking baby's blood, all that. I mean, that's just Epstein. He's just one pawn. There is lots of them. You had Harvey Weinstein. Well, he's out of job because of COVID. So he's not even in jail anymore. Did you know that? Anyway, look, going back to Australia, we've got to stop all this rubbish. Let people go out and demonstrate. But they're demonstrating for the wrong things. They're demonstrating a communist, a socialist thing. Half of them don't even realise. Oh, black lives matter. Every life matters. Every single life matters. It's just a divide against white and black and yellow and red, whatever, green and blue. That's what they do. and you're falling for it. I'm not. I can see it. It's just crap. Don't know why I can see it. Actually I do, because Pauline and I, we talked about this the other day, and we're actual watchers as well. See, a lot of people are just they either just listen, but they don't watch, or they watch but they don't listen, see? So you've got to do both, because so that's those two aspects. And then the other thing is your gut feeling. That's that little voice inside, as I said, that's where God lives, and he's giving you that little voice to listen to, and it's important. Just before you want to jump off that cliff, when it says don't, your life does matter. See? That's what it does. That's what stops a lot of people jumping off the cliff. They might not think it that way, but that's what it does to them. So you just got to stop being brainwashed. Well, not that you are brainwashed, but you got to stop. You start picking it when it becomes, like a broken record. When you're a kid, when your parents said exactly the same thing all the time. Wash your hands, go to bed, do your homework every day. That's brainwashing. And then as a child, you must probably learn to just do that. Filter. That's what you should be doing now. The media is the biggest culprit of your problems. The way you feel and the way we act. Okay? They're the puppet in front when someone else is pulling the marionettes. The ones that you pull the strings you don't see. See, it's all visual. Look at them. Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, they said that all these people, the curve's just spiking again. It's not flattening. Oh, my God. I think that's terrible. We must do more. What else do you want to do? Do you want to just seal your house up from top to bottom and just live in a cocoon for the rest of your life? With no more life outside? That's called prison in times insanity. And that's what Queensland's doing. And Victoria. And Tasmania. And I was talking about electricity and about Australian things and, you know, how we're supposed to support things. I mean, Dick Smith has just come out and said that, you know, he had to shut down all his factories because he couldn't compete. I told you, he worked for 30 years plus pushing Made Australia, buy Dick Smith, buy Vegemite, peanut butter, mayonnaise, the whole lot. Because all the Kraft and Arnott's and all these all gone overseas. All owned by big companies overseas. So he, you know, he has so much knowledge, a wealth of knowledge. Do you think anyone from government has rung him up and said, hey, Dick, what do you think? You know, why don't you come to our advisory board and give us some information how we can resurrect this company, it is a company of Australia, to get it back on its feet quicker. He said there hasn't been one phone call. And he's not the only one. There's quite a lot of big business people that have put their hand up. The government is just ignoring them. The people that run the government have never run businesses. 99.9% of people, okay? They've just been public servants sometimes from the age of 20, because they joined the Junior National Party or, you know, the Junior Liberal Party or Labor Party, and then just work through their little divisions and all that and get into power, and then they get handpicked who they think they should be pushed up forward and give more responsibilities so they can manipulate them to put them into power. When the politicians are at the head of Australia have got power, okay? None. They're just talking heads. They'll tell you what they want you to hear, and then once the cameras go off, they go, did I do good? Okay, let's go back to normal. So nothing gets done. Like I said, the Great Australian Party is the only party that I'll be looking at. And as he said, all politicians in Australia, it's like a big speedboat, you know, like one of those cigar boats with big engine, you know, twin V8s, making lots of noise, but no propeller, so it goes nowhere. Okay? Anyway, that's about it. I'll see how we go with the borders, but we're pissed off because I have to go through all this shit over nothing. By the way, do you like my hat? Yes, it's a German hat, but I can wear it in Australia, can't I? A farmer's hat. All right, well, other than that, have a great day and, you know, just open your eyes, watch, listen, and feel. That's my guide for you today. Peace out.